Hi, I'm Pessy. Welcome back. I just want to talk today a little bit about accepting where you are in life and not having to feel like you always have to be somewhere else. Because I feel like it's so common, especially in today's day and age, to feel like that there's always something else that you should be doing, or being different than what you are right now. And there's always something to strive for, always something to be better in, which I do believe the point of life is to grow, learn, and become a better version of yourself. But it's hard for me to understand. I don't know how society got here to a point where it's almost like your brain is constantly working against you to be present in your current experience and like enjoy it, because every single time you have a pocket of time to think, you're just thinking about everywhere that you should be and that you're not there yet. And that, my friend, is called having a lack mindset and a victim kind of scarcity mindset. And maybe it doesn't seem like it. Maybe you mask it with saying you just want to reach your potential, you just want to reach your goals. But if you are unable to genuinely look around at your life and fully accept and appreciate where you are and actually be content with where you are right now, you never will be until you learn how to do that. Because I'm sorry to tell you, like, literally, there is no point of your life where you're going to feel like, oh, yeah, I got it all figured out. You know, maybe at some points you'll have certain parts of your life more figured out than you had before. But no matter where you are in your life, you'll always have some part of your life, whether it's family, whether it's mentally, physically, career wise, hobby wise, somewhere where you feel like you still need to progress in and still need to put time into, still is confusing or chaotic, or you can't figure something out, or something happens out of your control. And you will always have something going on in your life where you have to figure something out. Like, even once you have kids, you always have to deal with things that come up with having kids, paying rent, anything. And that's not to be like, I know you can take that negatively as, oh my God, life is just so hard, which it can be. But the beauty of life is that, like, we get to really decide how we take it, you know? Like, you get to decide whether or not you take that as like, oh my God, what's the point of all this? This is all so annoying. Like, I'm never going to get to a point where I'm just happy, versus seeing that you can just be happy right now where you're at. You can be content right now where you're at. And if you work hard on figuring out how to feel the contentness and happiness and presence within this moment, then you will always feel happy. And you're still figuring it out, but you're happy while you're figuring it out, instead of like putting your happiness to a point of when you figure it out, you'll be happy. Oh my God, when I have this amount of money, I'll be happy. When I go travel here, I'll be happy. When I have these kinds of friends, when I fix my relationship with my family, when I get married or have kids, or when I reach these career goals, then I'll be happy. But the reality is, when you get there, there'll be other things that you need to figure it out. And then you'll still be thinking, oh, when I figure that out, I'll be happy. And then when does it end, you know? And you can look at anybody's life. This is like a truth, because you really can look at literally anybody's life around you, even online, and you can think of ways that they're probably still trying to figure it out. Therefore, you will never have it all figured out. So, what's the point of waiting until then to feel content? You know, when I was in India for my yoga teacher training, my philosophy teacher there, she was like a monk in an ashram, and she told us and explained to us how in the second limb of yoga, it's called niyamas, and those are the personal practices. That in the second limb, one of the five personal practices it's called santosha, which is contentment. And basically, the first two limbs of yoga are about foundational. Like, you can't move forward within your personal development without having these things kind of under wrap, right? And literally, one of the five main pillars of personal practices is contentment. What does contentment mean? Contentment means just feeling at ease and acceptance and appreciation and gratitude for what you have around you and what your experience is currently. And like, this is like something everybody knows, but no matter how much you have, no matter how much success you have, accomplishments or materialism or anything, it won't lead to contentment, because contentment is something separate from material gain, right? The same thing with when you're working on your body, right? When you are going to the gym to change your body, you're never going to be happier because of seeing some physical results. You have to work on your happiness. It's like separate. Most people, when they start going to the gym to work out, to feel, to look a different way, right? They get so obsessed with how they look, and a lot of people, even if they reach their, first of all, a lot of people don't reach their physical goals because they're so obsessed with their physical goals, and it's not a good enough motivation. But second of all, a lot of people, if they do reach their peak physique that they had when they first started their journey, it's still not enough. All they do is become more obsessed with picking apart their body, more obsessed with how they can look different, more obsessed with the different imperfections within themselves, right? So really, the point is that striving after anything physical, materialistic, accomplishing, like striving after something that is measurable, that there's like an end goal to, is not leading you to happiness. It's leading you to the end goal, right? Like, that's good. We need that. We need goals to work towards. But the understanding of feeling contentness in yourself and in your life is not correlated directly to those goals that you want to reach. Just let that sink in for a second. I know this to be a fact, but I have to remind myself of this very strongly, because you are not allowing yourself to enjoy your life if you're constantly just spending all your free thought and free time feeling miserable about not being at a certain place that you want to be at. Like, it's actually like wasting your life. And it's just a waste of time. You're putting yourself into negative vibrations, low vibrations, and it's making everything around you seem worse than it is. You're dictating your current life. You are planting the seeds for what you are currently experiencing outside of yourself, because two people can live the same exact type of lifestyle, and one person can be happy and one person can be miserable, and that just has to do with the narrative and story that they're allowing to play in their heads, in their minds. And how is it possible that you can see someone that has that reached all their goals that they set for themselves, and them still be miserable or reach a depression or be anxious, and how you can see somebody who never reached any of their material goals within their life, and they're extremely happy and content, because it's all a choice in your head. Like, it's all a choice whether or not you see the beauty of what's around you. You take a moment to, smell the flowers, look around, appreciate, spend time with people you love, figure out what makes you feel alive and participate in those activities, nurture your creativity, nurture your relationship with yourself and your body, nurture your relationship with everything around you, and actually enjoy yourself. Like, I don't know, it's so toxic how things are just so tied to that striving state. This reminds me, even like, I always would label myself as a truth seeker, right? Like, I'm trying to figure out the truth of life, and how it works, why we're here, all these things. And really, there's never a truth that I'm going to find that's going to make me feel at ease and at peace with my life. It was recognizing that I'm just here to learn more about how people see life, and how truth is like all to perception and everything. And I want to keep learning and keep growing, but there isn't some truth that I'm ever going to get to, like one singular truth. And if I wait and wait and wait and make myself miserable until I find that truth, I will die being miserable. That's it. And that's kind of what helped me be able to really accept my life, my mindset, because I think a lot about, the nature of things and everything. And if I just relied how I enjoy and how I enjoy my life and how content I am in my current circumstances based on whether or not I understood everything that was going on around me, then yeah, I wouldn't be here. And it would just it would be a sad way to spend my life. And at the end of the day, you have to realize and wake up every day and think, do I want to be living a negative, sad life or a positive and peaceful life? And if you get to choose, then why not? Why not choose peace and happiness? You know? Like, it's in your hands, and what's stopping you from making that switch, which is making me think about giving you some tips on how to make that switch, because it's easy to say, like, oh, be positive, find contentment, like, have gratitude. So let's just talk about some ways that I practice, that I also tell my clients and everybody I work with to do as well. These main practices of practicing gratitude is, first of all, really taking time away from your phone, away from any type of media, and just going outside, just you and your thoughts, and purposefully trying to not think about anything outside of what you're experiencing right now. Like, just actually take in what you're experiencing, how it feels to walk, how it feels to look around, how it feels to breathe in the air, how it feels like kind of dropping into your sensations, what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what you're feeling, and just paying attention and being aware of that rather than going on a walk and then your brain just goes wherever it wants to go. And you can do this also sitting before you go to sleep. Sit down and, maybe after you stretch a little bit, just sit down and just try and pay attention to the space between your thoughts. So you're getting to a place of, I just heard this the other day, it's like you're not your thoughts. You are the space where the thoughts are taking place. So if you want to feel connected to yourself and outside of your thoughts, which is what's dictating your reality, the more you connect with the space between your thoughts of where you actually are, the more you can curate what thoughts are going through your consciousness, what thoughts are passing through your mind. And therefore, once you can catch them, pay attention to them, you can also be aware of them and switch them out, reframe them. And you can never change your thoughts from negative to positive if you don't first become aware of what you're thinking. And it's a practice in itself to become aware of what you're thinking. Take a second now and just ask yourself, I wonder what I'm going to think next. See, maybe if your mind gets clear. That is really the space that you're existing in, and all your thoughts are just coming up on their own. And the more you allow yourself to be in that space, the more you are able to curate which thoughts are coming through and reframe them. Because my rule of thumb is, if what I'm doing, who I'm hanging out with, the situations I allow myself to be in, and the thoughts that I'm experiencing, is it being helpful for me being able to live a more contentful life? And I don't know if contentful is a word, but is it being helpful for me being able to be a more positive person, not only for myself, just in general, so that I can show up as a better human in society, with my family, And so just recognizing, is this serving or not? You don't have to get into the details of whether something is true or not true, whether something is right or wrong. Like, if it is true or not true that it's stressful that you have to worry about money. Yeah, okay. It's not about what is true and what isn't, because that is subjective. The truth that matters is that you get to decide whether something is serving you or not, and you can remove and curate accordingly. Okay? You can. You have that power. It's within you. It's within you, babe. And yeah, I wanted to share a personal story that I recently went through a really tough situation where I lost somebody really close to me. And maybe I'll speak on that story a little bit at some point, because I don't know why I find posting in general therapeutic, but also if anybody can find any type of relation or comfort within seeing people go through similar experiences or inspiration, that's why I like to post. But I lost somebody very close to me. He was 20 years old. It was like sudden and out of nowhere, and it put me into a really bad spiral. And I didn't take care of myself for like a month, and I let myself just sit in it, which maybe I needed, maybe I didn't. It doesn't matter. That's what happened. But I got to a really low point, and it's because I forgot that what I preach all the time, that I'm curating my thoughts as I go, or I have control over whether I let the thoughts in my mind stay there or not. And I kind of just forgot that. And I was having all these like really, really, really sad, heavy, negative thoughts about why, and this is unfair, what's the point, and everything. And I just kept letting them go because I wasn't reminding myself that I have power. Because usually in my daily life, I always wake up and remind myself. The first thing I think in the morning is, I have power to change my narrative. I have the power to choose a positive thought right now instead of this negative thought. Because usually I wake up thinking like, oh, I don't want to wake up. And then the second thought I have is, I have the power to not let that thought stay. Let it go and choose to put in a thought in my head of, I'm excited to be alive, right? So I kind of forgot that, and I got into a really negative spiral of just letting my thoughts rule over me. And thankfully I have so much love and support from the people around me, and they helped remind me who I am and what I preach and what I care about and what my beliefs are about psychology and about being able to see past your ego identity, to be able to, you know, take control. Take control of whether or not you allow those thoughts to keep festering. Because, yeah, maybe sometimes you need to let them, you need to let it go. I just needed to be. In that moment, maybe I did just need to be in that negativity, in that darkness. But then I was getting to such a low point where I felt like I was forgetting myself and what I stand for and why I'm here. And that is when I knew I need to get myself back into how I usually am. So I picked myself back up by continuously, as much as I could, reminding myself I have the power to let these thoughts go and to replace them with positive thoughts, reminding myself how grateful I am that I got to know him, reminding myself how precious life is and how I have to take advantage of this time of feeling like everything is so fleeting. So then I have to be more present in my relationships, in my experiences. I have to be more appreciative because you never know when it's gone, and like really flipping the narrative into this more positive and more helpful. Like I said, I like to have the things in my life be helpful and serving towards me being a thriving human, right? And you should be the same way, because you can be. And yeah, the point of this video is to just remind you that you don't have to be somewhere to feel happiness. You don't have to reach something to feel content and satisfied with yourself. You can feel satisfied, content, happy, and at peace through the process. And I think the point of life is kind of figuring that out. And not only figuring that out, but also like experiencing it, allowing yourself to experience happiness and peace within every moment of life, you know? And so I really encourage you to take your power back by sitting in silence, observing your thoughts, becoming more aware of what thoughts are serving you versus what thoughts are harming you, and allowing yourself to flip the narrative, allowing yourself to let those thoughts go that don't serve you by just observing them and not attaching to them, you know? This is all detachment to your narrative and your thoughts and your story. So just kind of detach from the thoughts that are not serving you. You know the thoughts that are like, I thought I would be here by now. Oh, I don't know what to do because of this and this and this. Just detach from them, let them flow, and replace them with positive thoughts. Like, just for example, yeah, if you're having a thought of, oh, I thought I would already have this amount of money by now. This freaking sucks. You know, just observe that thought. Okay, whether it's valid or not, whatever. Is it serving me? No, it's making me feel like shit. Like, it's making me feel like I'm lacking something, that I'm not good enough. So let me let it go. And in replacement, I'm going to say, life is unpredictable. Things don't go as exactly as you plan it. I'm not in control of everything in my life. When I am in control of is how much I love myself, uh, how the sun rises and I get to experience that, and how I have all these things in my life that are beautiful, like fingernails and like eyebrows and like a bed to sleep in. If you have a bed, I hope you have a bed. If you don't, you're strong. And yeah, that was random, but I think that's all for today. I hope the message got across. Yeah, so okay, let me finish with a little bit of mindfulness. So you can close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose. Slowly fill your belly with air. And gently and slowly exhale through your nose. Good. Just observe how the air feels leaving your nostrils, coming back in. Good. Observe. If your shoulders are tight, drop them. If your jaw is tight, loosen it. Let yourself be present in this moment. And what is the space between your thoughts? Like you're running through a crowd of people. The people are your thoughts. And you're just swerving between them, dodging them. In that space right there. Hold on to it. Notice it. If a thought comes up, observe. What is this thought? Is it helpful? Is it serving me? If not, let it go. Good. Take a deep breath into your nose. Gently, slowly exhale. And open your eyes nice and slow. Good. Look around. Take a moment to be thankful that your eyes work, that you're able to recept all these little things, all the little photons and vibrations and frequencies that are hitting your eyeballs. And that, yeah, that you're alive. It's good to be alive. Allow yourself to feel it. Just remember to take deep breaths throughout your days and live mindfully, being aware.